All right. Hello, hello. We are on. We are live. Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's Natasha Tomlinson here in Arizona with eXp Realty. And thank you for joining in to tonight's webinar. Just giving you all a few moments to get here and get going. Tonight's webinar is Market Truths and Opportunities. We're here in the greater Phoenix metro area, and it is August 2025. So, again, I'm Natasha Tomlinson, your real estate agent here in Arizona, your neighbor, your truth teller in a market that, let's just say, it's keeping us on our toes, right? Before we dive in, I want to know who I'm talking to here. I know we're across a few different social media networks here, and so I'm curious, where are you joining me from? Okay, let me know. Are you watching the replay or are you watching live? And let me know too, where are you hailing from? Are you here in Arizona? And did you get caught in the dust storm earlier this week? Or are you listening in from somewhere else? Are you in Canada, Seattle, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Texas, California, Chicagoland? Where are you listening from? So, Germany, Taiwan, Sydney, where? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Fantastic. And what we'll do here is we'll share this screen, and I will do my best to update this in the background for you guys. Yes. Right, let's get that going. All right, that's enough for my face, right? That's enough for my face. That's what we want to see. Okay. And throughout the webinar tonight, I'll do my best to change that to the various cities that make up the greater Phoenix metro area, so you can have an idea of what a snapshot looks like, where we sit with the median price, and whether we're increasing, decreasing, or staying flat at this time. Price per square foot, some good indicators. The average days on market, where things sitting there. You can have a look here, just so you know, prices decrease. This is 55% of the listings that were on the market. The homes for sale had a decrease, just so you know what that number signifies. And then showing you what the median rents are in that city. Okay, so we will jump around as I'm talking tonight. I'll do my best to remember to switch this out. But without further ado, let's dive in. Fantastic. Well, it is August 27th, 2025. And good evening, everyone. Again, welcome to tonight's webinar, Market Truths and Opportunities in the Greater Phoenix Metro Market. I'm Natasha Tomlinson, your Arizona realtor, your neighbor, and your truth teller in a market that, well, like I said before, it's keeping us on our toes. All right. So before we dive in, I want you to drop your name. Looks like a few of you have, don't hesitate. Keep doing that. And what we're talking about tonight is kind of a topic with a lot of strong opinions, okay? Which is a little shocking to me, but, people are entitled to their opinions. But we're talking about new construction, okay? The shiny, the fresh paint smell, the no one's ever lived here before dream that a lot of Arizona people have. But before we go any further, we're going to talk about two different angles regarding new construction. We'll chat a little bit about new construction as a primary residence, your forever home or your home for the next 5 to 7 years, right? And we'll discuss new construction as a long-term investment, the buy it now, cash flow later play. So I promise I will not sugarcoat anything for you. And we're going to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly, all right? That no one tells you when you sign, before you sign on that dotted line. Okay, so fair warning. By the end of tonight, you may be a little more cautious, okay? But the goal also is that you are more confident about making decisions. That's my goal for this evening, all right? So let's get the party started, all right? Again, welcome to Market Truths and Opportunities in the greater Phoenix metro area. So whether you're a buyer, a seller, or just someone keeping a close eye on the Phoenix real estate market, you are in the right place. Now, before we dive in, let me ask you a question. How many of you have heard conflicting stories about our housing market, right? Some say prices are crashing, they're falling from the sky, and others say now is the perfect time to buy. And sellers are wondering if they should wait it out or sell now. Well, we're cutting through the noise, and I will give you real data, local insights, and practical strategies so you can make smart decisions for your home and your financial future. Wonderful. Yes. Let's make a little switcheroo here. Maybe. I'm trying to be quick. Wonderful. Now, it's important to note also that these numbers that you're seeing on the screen here are for single family homes. Condos, townhomes, manufactured homes are not included in these numbers. Okay? All right. Now, back to our scheduled programming. We're cutting through the noise, talking about real data, local insights, and practical strategies to help you make smart decisions about your financial future in regards to real estate. So let's talk to the buyers in the room to begin, right? Here's what the numbers are telling us. Since April of 2025, supply has dropped 13.6%. The number of homes for sale has dropped. That number has decreased 13.6%. It's like, why? Right? Well, a lot of listings, a lot of homes for sale, they took their house off the market. Okay. It didn't sell. Either the listing agreement expired, the seller decided to cancel. We saw more cancellations and more expired listings than we have in quite a long time. All right. And we are not seeing a lot of fresh options for buyers hit the market. So on the flip side, demand is starting to recover, right? I'm talking to more people who are interested in purchasing real estate, that are deciding not to sit on the sidelines and maybe get their financial house in order to make a move and strike while the iron is hot. So demand is starting to recover. And why is that? Well, mortgage rates are starting to tick down, all right? Where we were between 6.75 and 7.25. Then we were between 6.5 and 6.75. Now we're still hovering in that 6.3, 6.5%. And I mean, that's a very general numbers because that depends on your financial picture, but the trend is down. That's the point, right? Since July 4th of 2025, weekly accepted contracts are up 14%. So let's talk prices. The median sales price, it looks flat when compared to last year. All right, year over year, our appreciation is pretty flat, but asking price per square foot is quietly declining. We're seeing like a 0.9% decline, and sellers are starting to negotiate. 56% of sales in July included a seller paid concession, where the seller is contributing to the buyer's closing costs. They're contributing so the buyer can buy down their interest rate. In August so far, that number has jumped to 58%, which is the highest that we've seen. So let me ask you, if more than half of the sellers are giving a seller concession at the closing table, how many of you would like to be on the receiving end of that? The biggest deals right now are condos and townhomes under 500,000. Those asking prices, they're down year over year. Of course, that all depends on area, but they are down. Buyers are negotiating another 2.5% off of last year's price in July. So here's the bold truth. It is a fantastic time to buy if you want, if you need seller incentives, if you need lower rates and no bidding wars. Now is the time. But it's important, all right? It's important to know that supply and demand, it's showing signs of reversing. Let's just say that, okay? That means we may not be in this buyer's market that much longer, but time will tell, right? If you want the best mix of affordability, seller concessions, seller contribution to your rate buy down, and low competition, people, this is your window. And windows in real estate, they don't stay open forever. That's just the way it is. Let's take a look at Gold Canyon out here. Why not? We'll bounce around both Maricopa County and Pinal County. Again, these numbers are single family detached only that you're seeing here on the screen. Okay? Wonderful. Now, let's bounce over to our sellers. I know this market has been slower than you would like, that many of you would like. And let's be real, right? For many of you, it's a full-blown buyer's market. The days on market right now are higher than they have been in years. And we're not seeing the multiple offers that we saw a few years ago. And condos are sitting on the market even longer. So it can be frustrating. I get it. But here's what you need to know. Even though demand is starting to stabilize, prices typically don't hit bottom for 3 to 6 months after the market rebalances. So if a balance happens this fall, the actual bottom may hit early next year. So you've got two choices. You can sell now and wait a little bit longer for that offer, but you're likely to get a higher price, even though you're very likely to get a request for closing costs. Or you can wait until spring, potentially get a lower price and fewer concessions. It really is the time to really put pen to paper and take a close look at those holding costs and see what makes the most financial sense for you. Either way, it is about strategy. And remember, national economists like Chase, Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank are all saying there is a 30+% chance of recession in the near future. Now, recessions aren't always bad, especially with regard to real estate, right? No one cheers on a recession. Not really, right? But what does that mean for real estate? All right. it means that the Fed may lower the Fed funds rate as early as September. You've heard about that in the news, and it could happen. Again, I looked at my crystal ball and it's a little cloudy. We're going to wait to see what actually happens before we make any strong predictions. Okay. Now, the Fed funds rate being lowered, it could pull down mortgage rates. Okay. Lower rates and home prices where they are would lead to more contracts, more activity in our market. So the very thing that many people fear is that economic slowdown could bring the relief that many homeowners are looking for in our real estate market. Okay. So by the way, just a quick refresher as to what the Fed funds rate is. The Fed funds rate is the interest rate that banks charge each other overnight. Okay. Great. Yes. Yes. Okay. Right. But it's the benchmark. The Fed funds rate is the benchmark that ripples out to everything. Okay. Credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, savings accounts. When the Fed cuts rate, affordability tends to improve. So sellers, here's my empathetic advice for the evening. Be patient, be strategic, and don't panic. Okay. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So remember, the big banks again are predicting a 30 to 43% chance of a recession in the near future. Okay. And that could mean lower rates. It could mean money flowing into bonds. It could mean interest rates dropping and buyers returning to the market, right? The short version of that, buyers, you have leverage today. You have the most leverage really now. All right. It won't last forever. Seller concessions, while they're handing them out like candy, it's not going to happen forever. All right. Sellers, it's important to price your home strategically. Days on market are longer. Overpricing homes, overpricing. I mean, a buyer can see everything online these days. Okay. If you must sell, get aggressive with your pricing before prices go down any further, right? Investors, watch condos under 500,000 and, single family homes under 500,000. Likely the deepest discounts are there. Rental demand is still strong in many parts of the valley as we have these employers moving into the valley. And, these folks, they got to live somewhere, right? So don't be so quick about the fix and flips because it isn't really that market. This is a great market for buy and hold plays, all right? Now, if you're thinking about new construction, the market is practically begging you to at least look at what builders are dangling in front of you right now. All right. So that brings us to our topic. We're talking about the pros and cons of new construction, the opportunities that exist there. Should you buy a new construction home instead of resale? All right. Now, if you've been wondering about this, especially with all the growth happening here in the greater Phoenix metro area, this talk is for you, right? Remember, when you are when you purchase new construction, you're the very first owner, right? You get to put your stink on it. I mean, that's one way to put it, right? Let's see, make sure. Yes. Okay. No worn out carpets, no leaky faucets, no mystery repairs. Everything is brand new from the foundation to the roof. And you get a builder's warranty, which covers the major systems and structural components of the home, which one would think would give you peace of mind. Okay. Especially important in Arizona where AC units work overtime, especially, this time of year. Having a brand new system saves money and some stress. All right. As one person had my AC unit down for the early part of the summer. Woo! It was a sauna in here. Okay. Some people pay big money for that, and I got it for free. So I wouldn't recommend it though. Thankfully we're able to get the contractor out here pretty quickly to get the job done. It did take them a few tries, but you're right, I'm not sweating now. It's it's all good. So Phoenix summers, they're hot, right? There's no way around that, and the utility bills can get high. Most new construction homes are built to current energy efficiency codes. They have better insulation, they have new windows, energy efficient appliances, and some even include smart home technology. And all of that should translate to lower electrical bills and a more comfortable experience in your home. So, unlike buying an older home where you may need to renovate it, right? I mean, and that has its pros and cons. But with new construction, you often get to choose your finishes, you choose your flooring, carpets, countertops, paint colors, and builders often have those design centers so you can put your personal touches on the home, right? Layouts are designed by modern living. You have open floor plans, bigger kitchens, and flexible spaces like workstations and home offices. Now, there's the location. Here in the greater Phoenix area, many new builds are part of a master planned community. So you have walking trails, parks, playgrounds, clubhouses, pools, pickleball courts, even sometimes golf courses and gated communities. It's not just about the house, it's about the lifestyle. Communities like these can also hold value well because they're in demand and the amenities are already built in. Now, there are also some financial perks and some builder incentives. Builders want to sell their homes quickly, right? So often they are giving free upgrades right now. Maybe there's landscaping packages, closing cost assistance, interest rate buy downs. And in today's market, some builders are being very competitive, which can make new construction more affordable than you think. Now, let's not overlook another benefit. New construction homes are often built with healthier materials. They have fewer allergens, better ventilation systems, and sometimes even water saving features. They're great for anyone who wants a clean, modern living space. Now, let's not forget about the equity growth potential. The Phoenix metro area is growing, right? Areas like Buckeye, Goodyear, Queen Creek, Surprise, Apache Junction, Peoria are exploding with new development. If you buy into a community early, there's a strong sense your home will appreciate as the area continues to grow and demand increases. So you have also that resale advantage down the road. Even though you're buying for yourself right now, I mean, one day everything sells eventually. A newer home often appeals to more buyers because it's move-in ready, the warranties are present, it's energy efficient, and there's less maintenance, and that can make your resale faster and more profitable. So let's go over a few of the pros that we discussed today. Let's change this out. Okay. Some of the pros of new construction in the greater Phoenix metro area: lifestyle communities, builder incentives, equity potential, lower energy bills, and peace of mind with warranties, right? Buying new construction, it isn't for everyone. Sometimes resale offers more land, more established neighborhoods, and lower upfront costs. And but all I'm saying is that new construction is something worth exploring. So we talked about the pros, so let's talk about the cons, the downsides of new construction as a primary residence, right? One, we have location trade-offs. Chances are you're not in the center of town with new construction. Most new construction communities in the Phoenix area, they're built on the outskirts. You're in Surprise, Buckeye, Maricopa, Santan. That means you have longer commute times, fewer established restaurants and things to do outside of work. You have limited shopping, less mature landscaping compared to Central Phoenix, Glendale, Scottsdale, Tempe, Chandler, right? And if lifestyle and convenience matter most to you, it's a drawback, okay? Medical care may not be well established in those areas. Road construction may be an issue, to maybe one way in and one way out. So those can be drawbacks, all right? There are also some, let's call them hidden costs, all right, with new construction. Builders, they love to advertise the starting price from the low 500s, from the low 300s, right? From the mid 400s. Well, mid could be a lot of things. Usually it's the higher end of that mid. But here's the truth. The model home you toured with the gorgeous quartz countertops and the high-end flooring and the herringbone backsplashes, that's usually 50 to 100,000 more in upgrades. Even the basics, like you and I would consider basics, window coverings, backyard landscaping, appliances, they're not always included. So while new construction looks affordable up front, the final cost can be significantly higher. Now, most new communities also come with that HOA, that homeowners association, and those have fees. And those fees can be higher than resale communities. You'll likely face restrictions on parking, paint colors, even your landscaping choices. If you value freedom and flexibility, you may find this too limiting for your tastes, okay? Also, new construction, you will notice if you look at any of the homes that are available that the lots are smaller, okay? Developers, they are looking to maximize the land that they have there, and they're squeezing as many homes as possible in there. Compared to older Phoenix homes, many new builds have much smaller yards. If you want a pool, a play area, room for pets, room for gatherings, a resale home may offer you more space. Now, in today's market, supply chain shortages, which we really dealt with a few years ago, but we still have some delays. They're still common. And that means that your moving date may get pushed back, which can be costly. It can create challenges for someone who is relocating jobs or trying to enroll their kids in school. Also, new home communities, they can lack character, have sort of that sea of sameness when compared to established communities. Many home buyers have noticed, they notice that cookie cutter feel, and it's just not what they have in mind, right? The trees are small and the neighbors are still moving in, and they would much prefer an area with more character and more mature landscaping that gives them a more homey, warmer feel. All right. So now new construction, of course, it has its advantages, but it's important to weigh the pros and cons before making any decision. Now, if you want a personalized breakdown of new builds versus resale homes in your preferred Phoenix area, hey, just reach out to me. I'll be sure to include the link in the description here, so you can schedule a free 15-minute no obligation call to discuss what your goals are, and if now is the right time, or if it's better that you wait, maybe connect you with a lender or two and give you a more detailed understanding of what the market is doing in your desired area. So let's talk about, I'm like, where am I? Oh, I was gonna switch this out. Yeah, okay, maybe. Come on. Uh-oh. No? Okay. We are live, so bear with me. We are live. Okay. So, you're thinking about new construction as a long-term investment, hey, you're not alone, okay? With our valley growing by the day, people moving here, new communities, they're popping up, from the east side, west side, northern part of town to the southern, near the major employment areas. And the real question is, is new construction really a smart investment in today's market? And what are the hidden downsides that you need to know before writing that check? So let's break down the pros and cons for you so you can make the best decision for your portfolio. All right, let's start with the positives. Why not, right? Lower maintenance costs. New homes come with brand new systems, roof, AC, appliances, plumbing, and that means fewer repair calls, fewer tenant complaints, and peace of mind for you as a landlord, especially in the first 7 to 10 years, right? There's tenant appeal because renters love new homes. They're almost expect it. They think smart home features, think open floor plans, energy efficiency, and modern finishes. That usually translates to shorter vacancy times and potentially higher rents compared to older properties down the street. Now, there's also those builder incentives, right? Right now, many Phoenix area builders are offering closing cost credits, interest rate buy downs, and sometimes even landscaping and appliance packages. Those perks can make the numbers work a little better in your favor, better on your cash flow, right? Master plan communities in many of the new developments, right? They offer quite a few amenities. There's parks, pools, pickleball courts, walking trails. Those extras can help your property garner top of market rent. You also have more energy efficiency, better insulation, energy efficient windows, not only save tenants money, but there are strong selling points when you market the rental. So let's balance it out now with a few downsides, shall we? Let's see. Whoop, not the. Yes. Yep, here we are. We are in Tempe. Yep, okay. Downsides. You have the higher purchase price, higher cost of acquisition. Your new construction in Phoenix often comes at a premium compared to resale homes. That can eat into your rental yield. And if you're focused on monthly cash flow rather than long-term Appreciation, well, that can pose a problem. HOA restrictions. Many new subdivisions have strict HOA rules, and some limit or outright ban rentals. They're trying to ban short-term rentals more so, right? So always check the CCNRs, the covenants, conditions, and regulations, the rules and regulations of that homeowners association before buying to make sure long-term renting is allowed, what restrictions exist. All right. And if you wanted to switch to a short-term rental or co-living sort of situation, just what restrictions exist in that community. Keep in mind, location, it still rules real estate, okay? New homes tend to be on the edges of town. Queen Creek, Maricopa, Goodyear, Buckeye, all right? Apache Junction. That can mean longer commute times for tenants and more traffic, more headache, slower appreciation compared to homes in Central Phoenix, Scottsdale, Glendale, Mesa, right? Also, Mesa, speaking of Mesa, let's put Mesa in there. Also, you're dealing with builder timelines. If you're buying pre-construction, you're not buying a spec home, delays are common, okay? That means your investment might sit idle longer than you planned. And in our market, our current market conditions, that can impact your returns. You also have cash flow versus appreciation, right? You have that pros and cons of that. And because of the higher price and the property taxes in some new developments, your cash flow, it may be slim, it may be negative in the beginning, unless you put more money down. You're often betting on future appreciation rather than immediate income. So, is new construction in the greater Phoenix metro area a good investment? The answer depends. It depends on you and your strategy and your tolerance. If you're looking for low maintenance, tenant attracting properties with strong long-term appreciation potential, hey, new construction, it could be a good play. But if you're chasing maximum monthly cash flow, you may want to run the numbers pretty carefully and consider resale properties in established neighborhood. So, what on earth do you do with all of this information that I've thrown at you tonight? All right. I hope you're learning something, right? If nothing else. What do you do with all of this information? Woo! I've been talking a lot. If you're a primary residence buyer, take advantage of incentives, but know what your upgrade limit is before walking into that design center. Know what makes sense to have the builder do and something that you may do on your own or with a third-party contractor at a later date. If you are an investor, run the numbers using realistic rent comps and factor in the potential competition. Because if the community allows you in as an investor, chances are you're not the only one. In both cases, location, it still rules. And that shiny new kitchen, it means nothing if you are 45 minutes from where people want to live, work, and play. So please, if you're doing new construction, if you're purchasing real estate, get representation, right? Builders have friendly sales reps, but they work for the builder. And my job is to work for you. Now, here's the big takeaway. New construction, it can be a fantastic choice if you go in with your eyes wide open. Whether it's your dream home or your next rental property, the key is location, timing, and negotiation. If you want a personalized breakdown of what the Phoenix metro communities and builders are offering, the best deals right now, and which ones, quite frankly, which ones should just avoid, book that free consultation with me. I'll run the numbers, we'll compare incentives, and give you just an upfront view. No sales fluff, okay? Now, I'll put the link in the chat and we'll go from there. And now let's see. Let's change this out again before I ask if anyone has any questions that they would like to ask, any real estate questions, any Arizona real estate questions, okay, that they would like to ask tonight. I'm here and I'll do my best to answer them. Let's see, what do we have? Any Arizona real estate questions that we have here tonight? Take a look. All right. Okay. Which areas are growing the fastest? Okay. So right now what we're seeing a lot of growth in the Southeast Valley near Gilbert, Queen Creek area. And we're seeing on the West Valley, we're seeing a lot of growth also in Peoria, in Surprise, in Goodyear, and the eastern part of Buckeye. Let's say that. All right. We're seeing new construction, we're seeing jobs, and these tend to be affordable areas, and we're seeing more freeways, more roads, more availability there also. Okay. Let's see. Okay, how long does it take to build a new home? Good question. Look, they're all good questions, okay? Now, I'm going to say it depends. I know people don't like that answer, but it's an honest answer. And it depends on the builder. It depends on the floor plan. But I would say a good rule of thumb, we're not looking at a spec home. We're looking, something built from the ground up. We're looking at 6 to 12 months, right? If it's a spec home, chances are you can move in way sooner than that. All right. Any other questions? Come on, don't be shy. Now's your opportunity. Now is your opportunity. Any real estate questions? All right, now is your opportunity. Don't be shy. I'll do my best to answer it for you. And if I don't know, I don't know. I'll tell you that too. Well, let's make sure that you have my link in the chat if you would like to schedule that free, no obligation consultation to talk about Arizona real estate and what your situation is. We can most certainly do that. Oh, here we go. Do I need a realtor when buying new construction? Now listen, you can do all sorts of things in this life by yourself, but most things are best when done with someone. So I would say you don't need a realtor. It is just in your best interest to have representation when buying new construction. Okay. Builders have their own representatives working there for the builder. They're not working for you. And your representative, if you choose to use one, protects your interests, helps negotiate your incentives, and ensures that you don't miss contract details. Okay? So those are some of the reasons why you want to have your realtor with you and know that that realtor should be there on the first visit to any new home community, right? That's very important if you're looking for representation. All right. Let's see. Anyone else? Any other takers? Okay, cash offer. What about cash offers? All right, well, we're taking another direction, but that's all right. I left it open. Anything real estate, right? What about cash offers? Excuse me. Cash offers. Okay, cash offers, traditional offer. How do they compare? Okay, now cash offers are typically faster, right? You have fewer hurdles. You don't have the appraisal, loan approvals, financing contingencies, right? So that's the plus, right? You get your answer now. You put in the details, possibly show some pictures of any upgrades that you've done to the property, and get your cash offer, right? Nice. So the issue is that they can come in lower than financed offers, since the buyers they expect speed and certainty in exchange for a discounted price. Okay, the intention of the investor behind the cash offer a lot of times is to resell that property. Maybe they plan on doing some upgrades to the property. Even if not, they still intend to resell the property, and they are looking to purchase at a discount many times. Okay. So will you make less money with a cash offer? Not always. Not always. Some cash offers do come in below today's market value, but some offer competitive pricing. It just kind of depends. It comes with, you're looking at the maximum sales price, or do you want a fast, hassle-free closing, right? Which one is more important to you? And again, feel free to sign up using that link. We can discuss that further. And I do work with a number of investors if that's important to you, and we can generate some cash offers for you and give you an idea of what that looks like in today's market. All right. Well, any others? Any others? Anything regarding real estate, cash offers, new construction, resale, relocation, buying a home, selling a home, just sparking some ideas. Okay, so some hidden costs. We mentioned that a little bit. There can be lot premiums in new construction, upgrades if you're not satisfied with what the builder is offering would cost money. Window treatments, window coverings, landscapings, sometimes property taxes. Like the first year property taxes tend to be low because the property tax is based on the value of the land, but the next year is built based on the land and the structure of the house. So you can certainly expect your property taxes to increase in new development. So that's another important point. Great. Well, I'm calling it. I'm saying that's a wrap. Folks, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know you could have been anywhere, and I do find your time to be valuable. I do this every week on a different topic regarding Arizona real estate. I would love to hear your ideas on topics, what you would love to know more about in regards to living in Arizona, Arizona real estate, all things real estate, whatever. All right. So feel free to send me a message and let me know about that as well. All right. Thank you for being here, and you have a wonderful evening. Ta-ta for now.